Donald Trump has come out swinging against China in the continuing trade war between the two superpowers, this time saying China will have to come to the negotiation table if they want to do business in America again. We'll see what happens, but ultimately, they have to make a deal because otherwise they're not going to be able to deal in the United States. So we want them involved, but they have to, and other countries have to, make a deal. And if they don't make a deal, we'll set the deal, because we're the ones that set the deal. Scott and Howard and myself and others, we're going to be setting the deal, and it'll be a fair deal for everybody, and it'll be, I think it's a process that's going to go pretty quickly. We've spoken to many countries, and we're getting their views on things. You know, there are a lot of things. They have VAT taxes, they have everything you can have. Don't forget, as an example, the European Union was set up to take advantage of the United States. That's why it was set. And they've done that, but they're not doing that anymore. Online commentators shared divided reactions to Trump's tough talk, with one stating, "This is what happens when an authoritarian regime creates an export-ly economy fueled by the policies of feckless prior U.S. presidents." The user suggested that China miscalculated, assuming the model would last. "Oops, new sheriff in town, and your economic house of cards could crumble if you don't come to the table," they said. According to them, the CCP's survival hinges on economic growth and maintaining living standards, so they believe China will eventually negotiate on U.S. terms. However, not everyone was impressed. A different user mocked Trump's tone, quoting, "If they don't make a deal, we'll set the deal." Sounds like something a toddler says while negotiating bedtime with a juice box. They added, "Truly remarkable how every sentence feels like it was ghost-written by a malfunctioning magic 8-ball. White House Press Secretary Caroline Light backed the president's remarks, saying a trade deal with China is on the horizon and that talks are ongoing with many other nations. Spoke to our entire trade team this morning. There is a lot of progress being made. We now have 18 proposals on paper that have been brought to the trade team," she said. These proposals have come from other countries to the Trump administration. She listed key figures including Secretary Besant, Secretary Lutnick, Ambassador Greer, NC Director Hassett, and Peter Navarro, all meeting with 34 countries just this week. "We are moving at Trump speed to ensure these deals are made on behalf of the American worker and the American people." She also pointed out that just yesterday, the vice president revealed a terms of reference for a trade deal with India, something she felt was underreported. That is a big deal. We know when we look at the numbers, the monetary trade barriers and the non-monetary trade barriers from India, they have been ripping off the United States and American workers for a very long time, she stated. According to Light, the announcement made during the vice president's trip with Prime Minister Modi is a framework to advance a strong trade agreement between the two nations. It's great progress and speaks to the effort being made by the president's trade team. While Trump believes a deal with China will happen, Senator John Kennedy took it further, saying China must agree or face more economic ruin. China doesn't want a trade war. China's in horrible shape. The property market has crashed. They've got deflation. Their people are unemployed. Unemployment among young people is over 20%. They lie about their growth figures. China's in a horrible shape economically. They can't afford a trade war, Kennedy argued. But China isn't backing down just yet. They are taking Trump's tariffs seriously, even going as far as calling for a UN meeting to accuse the US of bullying. Tomorrow, China will host an informal UN Security Council meeting, condemning the US for weaponizing tariffs. A note from a Chinese diplomat sent to all 193 UN members said, "By weaponizing tariffs as a tool of extreme pressure, the US has gravely violated international trade rules and triggered severe shocks and turbulence in the world economy and multilateral trading system, casting a shadow over the global efforts for peace and development." Online users didn't hold back, with one saying, "Guess they never heard do not do to others what you would not want done to yourself," slamming China's accusations as hypocritical. Meanwhile, with some Americans upset over 245% tariffs, businessman Kevin Oyer went a step further, calling for even higher tariffs to stop the disrespect from China. 104% tariffs in China are not enough. I'm advocating 400%, he said. I do business in China. They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by any of the rules they agreed to when they came in. For decades, they cheat. They steal. They steal IP. I can't litigate in their courts. They take product technology, they steal it, manufacture it, and sell it back here. He continued. Never has an administration gotten on a plane to Washington to level the playing field. This is not about tariffs anymore. Nobody has taken on China yet. Not the Europeans. No administration for decades. As someone who actually does business there, I've had enough. I speak for millions of Americans who have IP that's been stolen by the Chinese. I have nothing against the Chinese people. They've brought great literacy, art, and tech to the world. The government cheats and steals. And finally, an administration. You may not like Trump. You may not like his style or his rhetoric. Finally, an administration that puts up and says enough. And as China delays, the U.S. continues advancing deals around the world. Just yesterday, J.D. Vance had a positive meeting with Modi of India, reaffirming the strong alliance between the two nations while distancing from China. As many of you know, both of our governments are hard at work on a trade agreement built on shared priorities, creating jobs, building durable supply chains, and achieving prosperity for our workers, Vance said. In our meeting yesterday, Prime Minister Modi and I made very good progress on all of those points. And we're especially excited to officially announce that America and India have finalized the terms of reference for the trade negotiation. I believe this is a vital step toward realizing President Trump's and Prime Minister Modi's vision, he concluded. It sets a roadmap toward a final deal between our nations.